When did you start writing the screenplay for ECCO?
6 months before we started shooting. So what happened was we wrote the story to, like I said, I wrote several scripts when I was in New Zealand, all of which were beyond what our investment group had put together. So they were kind of like films that were outside the scope of what I could execute. So I said, okay, great. These will just have to hold. So then we collaborated on a very interesting script, and we wrote that, and then I took a big pass at that draft of that particular film. And I got to the end of it and I said, it's the same issue. It's too big for what we can shoot. So I put that on the shelf and I said, I really, really, really wanted to do that, but it's just not the right time, which takes a lot of discipline and you have to kind of like get over it pretty quick. So then we sat down and I said, hey, I have this idea. So I sent him a 2-page idea. I was like, hey, I have this idea, bang, 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 bang. And he was like, oh, that's super interesting. And then he came back to me and said, well, what if it's set here and here and here? So we went through a couple of versions of that treatment where at one point the film was set in a hotel that was very time oriented, sort of like a ticking time bomb of a film. And then we expanded that. And we got the treatment to a place where we both felt like we really understood the characters. And then I said, okay, I want to write this. And he's like, for sure, man. So I wrote it in, I think I did 4 drafts of the script. And then we were in pre-production because we had a timeline on our capital. So we didn't have a release date. We had a certain amount of capital put together, and there was a timeline on that capital. The other thing that was super critical in his life, and this is personal, but people can figure it out pretty quickly, is his wife was pregnant with their first child. So we had this capital constraint, and then we had a life constraint. And so we had this, in the can deadline that we were working against. And 6 months.
And how did you get access to the capital? How are you? Are you in New Zealand flying back and forth to LA at this point?
That time?
Yeah.
No, at that time I had moved back.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I had moved back full time. And by then when I moved back, I had a business model in my mind of what I wanted to do. And I was super clear about, I had the business model for years. And along with writing in New Zealand, I had done a lot of research. I had done a lot of research with studios there. I'd done a lot of research with film distributors there. What works, what doesn't work, how does a film make money, how does it lose money? And built a business plan there while we were running this ad agency. And so I came back from New Zealand and I was like, this is what we're doing. And so then I put together an investment group out of Seattle. There's a couple of people in New York, but it's mostly in Seattle. So basically I sat down with people that I knew who trusted me a lot. And I said, this is what we're going to do. And they said, awesome. The biggest challenge, the biggest hurdle I had wasn't trust and it wasn't execution. Or they didn't think I was going to make a product that didn't live up to the standards of what they saw on my commercial reel. They thought about time. There's a lot of time variables with film, like when's the script going to be ready? What if you get rained out of a location? What if someone gets hurt, etc. From a producer's perspective, there's tons of variables, which in an investment world is called risk management. And so we developed a very, very calculated risk management strategy. So all those folks felt like their capital was protected. And then we met those requirements and beyond as far as budget goes and time goes. And I credit a lot of my, I credit all of my commercial production experience with staying on target and being relentless with deadlines and so forth. And it was a very tight timeline. And there were times when there were times when that felt like it was reckless a couple times, meaning our goal was to achieve something in this amount of time. And every once in a while, there was this thundering hammer of reality, which was like, you didn't know this, no matter how many ads you've shot, no matter where you've shot, no matter what conditions you've shot under. And that's when you realize this is 32 days. This is not 2 or 3. This is a feature. And so that period of time was a reckoning.